Well, it's time to eat humble pie. I know that this channel has been extremely critical of IPID, the slowness of investigations, and maybe sometimes we accuse them of covering up for police officers. I even said at some point that in as much as IPID is independent, but I don't think it's fully independent because most of the officials that work at IPID, they were former police officers themselves, where they learned the art of covering up for each other. So I want to state categorically, without any reservations, to say, ngiyaxolisa bakithi, ngiyaxolisa. I am so sorry, Miss Masuku. I am so sorry, Mr. Magagula. Ngiyaxolisa. The thing is, you must also understand, not that I'm making excuses after Xolisa, that's why I didn't use the word but. It's important, Ute, you need to understand our position as well as the community, as South Africans. When police officers are doing as they please and nobody is holding them accountable, or at least it seems like nobody's holding them accountable, the only conclusion that we have in our minds is that we're vele, type of situation, without exactly understanding the full picture that was painted not only by Miss Masuku, but also by Mr. Tuso. I don't want to butcher his surname. This is the director of IPID who came yesterday and painted a picture about what IPID is actually facing. And now we got to hear from the investigators themselves, starting with Miss Masuku. My heart is shattered. I don't know how many times I cried during her testimony. And it got worse and worse to the point where she started sharing. This lady was shaking like a leaf. At first I was like, why are you nervous? And as she began to speak, then you got to understand the gravity of the situation that South Africa faces with corrupt cops who are thugs. Thugs, guys. We have thugs in uniform. They swore to serve and to protect not us, but themselves and their criminal cartel. And then cases that they commit ends up in the hands of IPID, who is swarmed. Guys, where have you ever heard one investigator having more than 240 cases that they need to solve? And at what speed of or record time do we expect them to even get to your own matter? I mean, I think it was Mr. Makakula who said toxicology. You know what toxicology is? When they check your blood if it has any kind of substance like alcohol, white powder, etc. and so on. It takes 5 years. 5 years to get the results. And then you are sitting at home and you're thinking, oh no, these people are not working, they're covering for each other, blah, blah, blah. That's because they have over 48,000 cases they have to deal with. And they don't have capacity. Ekurhuleni alone, according to Mr. Magagula, has 6 investigators, each with almost 700 cases they need to deal with individually. Let that sink in. So it began to make sense why things were taking so long, because the case of Mr. Mbenze goes as far back as 2022. And then you had Mr. Spies, Rivo Spies, as well as Chief Police of Ekurhuleni, Mapiyeye, blaming and also making accusations against the investigators in IPID, being these 2 witnesses that we've had understand that they are covering up for Julius Mkhwanazi. And they were not. When Ms. Masuku explained that the way they work, it must be in such a secret that even their own colleagues must not know that they are working on a particular case. So it makes sense to me why Mapiyeye as well as Rivo Spies would make those accusations, because they seem to look like they are protecting Julius Mkhwanazi, when in fact, maybe not in fact, allegedly, izinto ziyenzeka, because Ms. Masuku had two very life-threatening incidences. One involved her own child, her son, who was shot at. The son was shot at. The second incident, she had her children and herself, I think it was a Sunday, she said, a hail of bullets on their car because of the cases they are investigating. You must remember, always remember this, guys. IPID investigates South African police servicemen or members who commit crimes, as well as Metro Police members that commit crimes. So they investigate them. They're not investigating your ordinary criminal. No, 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 no. They're investigating people in blue or brown uniform. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And so the protection aspect of it, it shocked me that the state, the way it is so callous, it only provides security for Mr. Makakula as well as Ms. Masuko, of course, and other IPID investigators that are involved in very, very big notch police officers that's supposed to be feared. They only protection for like their residents. But once they leave their residence, they are on their own on the road, because that's where these people attack. Like, she got attacked on the road in Spring with her family, the son also. So they're not going to come to her house. What broke my heart after the shooting of her son, the same people that shot at her son, she knew who they are, or she knows who they are. And fortunately, they are about to get sentenced in a very short period of time coming. And she said to them, now, even the current case that she is investigating, Yambanse, Emmanuel Mbanse, she went to them and gave them her home address. That's how she is now saying, I know, Veli, you're going to kill me. That's what she's saying to them. I know this is what, here's my address, do it quick. That took me. Also, we have people in our uniform doing that. Ekurhuleni is a gangster's paradise. Ekurhuleni is a crime scene. Ekurhuleni is Mexico. Ekurhuleni is Colombia. That is why it looks the way it does, guys. Have you been to Ekurhuleni? Ha! And they have an entire city council. An entire city council with multiple political parties. What are they doing? What are they doing? Now you're having... I am so sorry. I truly am sorry after these explanations, and the picture is fully painted now. I will never again criticize IPID, ever. As a matter of fact, they deserve the opposite. Our praises. The current witness, Mr. Makakula. I mean, I was very upset at Mr. Makakula when he was being accused by Rivo Spies and Mapia. I was like, Veli is corrupt. Hey, hey, hey. Who's eating humble pie now? It's me. It's me. Because now I understand what they are going through. Not only are they going through threats, but in between all of these 700 plus cases that they are responsible for individually, they still have to go to court to testify. What do you think is happening to the current case they're investigating, or other cases they're investigating? That means they have to stall, because you don't go to court to testify for one day. You might actually be there for 3-6 months. Remember, Gininda in the sense of Meiwa, he was on the stand from October all the way to, I think, mid-February 2025. So all the cases that he was busy investigating, guess what needs to happen to them? Yeah, sit in the back burner. So all of these things we don't think about. The threats in particular. Miss Masuku even said sometimes you work on a case, and then you have to stop because the threats are getting worse and worse. So you want to make them feel like, okay, they've forgotten about it. When you know, you want the dust to settle. And then you go and pursue other cases. Just when they have forgotten, you come back and then you go to the next witness. And then she did say also her heart is broken for witness D. She feels like witness D made a mistake of going to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry to testify. And I understood what she said. She said, this man is open, and he also understood the consequences he was facing because he's an accomplice to the unaliving of Emmanuel Mbenze, irrespective of what his explanations are. And he was very much willing to drop the names, just like he did in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. He dropped names, Marius van der Merwe, witness D. And so she says also some of information he did not say or tell her they were given at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. That means he expanded at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry rather than saying all those things in his own affidavit. So the day they were, in fact, the week they were supposed to meet with him on that Friday, he gets unalived because now he needs to make a supplementary affidavit so that he can add all these other stuff that he said at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry so that they go for the people that he mentioned. But whether Marius is here or not, she named all the people that are to be arrested. Right now, the dockets are with the DPP to make a decision. Just like Mr. Tuso said, before the end of February, these people would be in handcuffs and probably suspects, or I guess they'll have seen the magistrates, is what I'm trying to say, and then await their trials. So that is why some are unaliving themselves. Ibolile South Africa, fellow South Africans. Ibolile is South Africa. And if you thought we were safe in our own country, and when you called the police, you thought you were safe, you are not. We are not safe from the very police that we're supposed to entrust with our safety and security. I am shook. I'm shook to the core of my being. But are we surprised though? I don't think I am surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all, but I am shocked. So I feel like going forward, I will see IPID in a different eye, and I will always empathize with them. Are they corrupt IPID officials? I don't know. I think they're too swamped to even care to be corrupt. I don't know. My eyes are opened. I fully understand IPID now. Mr. Makakula just took the stand just an hour before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry adjourned for tomorrow at 9:30. And there's more explosive testimony that is coming from him. From what we understand, he's also going to be dropping some evidence, very explosive evidence on the cases of people. Some of them you may be a fan of. So them celebrities. I don't know who was dropping the name of DJ Sbu and Ninza somewhere. Is it them? I don't know. Because, yeah, tomorrow he's coming with evidence. Boom, on the table. So now, if I was the DPP and I listened to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, by tonight, people would be arrested. Particularly the individual that is dangerous. Now, and when he's taken in, can he be sent to a Bongweni so that he has no opportunity to have anybody bringing him things and telling him, like, put him like in a blackout? How I think the reason why Cat Matlala is appealing, basically interdicting him being moved to a Bongweni is because he's blacked out. He knows nobody there, and nobody actually knows him to give him anything that is happening on the outside world. He can't watch. Probably was watching the Matlala Commission of Inquiry and the ad hoc committee. But at Bongweni, you have that little cell of yours for 23 hours, and you're only allowed 1 hour to go exercise and get that small little sun ray that's coming through the small window. No, this individual needs to be taken straight there. Because even with the current witness, Mr. Makakula, Ula, he's here. You heard from his voice as well, even though he started settling in very well. And he was even throwing some jokes. We laughed. We did laugh. But tomorrow I cannot wait. I cannot wait for those explosive evidence that he talks of. Because it's enough. And I agree with some people that are saying that EMPD needs to be disbanded. If there's any government entity that needs to go, it is EMPD. Started from scratch. And this, something that needs to be tabled by the City Council of Ekurhuleni. But then again, why would we give this responsibility to people that are short-sighted themselves? Maybe in the next municipal cycle, that's where something like this has to happen. These guys need to go. They have to go, unfortunately. Ziningi ngane out there looking for jobs, and they would do diligent work. Anyways, I don't know. I just thought, let me speak on this and apologize to IPID. Ngiyaxolisa bafethu. Oh, ngiyaxolisa shem. I've eaten humble pie. I now understand you more than I ever did. Thank you for your service. You have, from the clan, you have our support. 100%. 100% behind y'all. Awu sisi masuku siyaxolisa sisi. Awu siyaxolisa sisi. Xola sisi, xola, please. But other than that, I will leave this video right here. It was a day. It was a day, Shem. But I'm glad that all these things are getting exposed. Goodbye.